It is the Random Walk Index. All right. Happy Wednesday, traders. It's the Indicator Profile Series. This is VP, and the Random Walk Index is another one of those indicators like we had last week, to where there's just a lot going on, a lot of moving parts, a lot of nerd stuff, a lot of changes over time. All of those things can be found in the blog. I keep it relatively simple here for you, and then you can take it as deep as you want to afterwards. So let's get right into things. Now, if you're new, welcome to the top indicator channel in all of YouTube. Always has been, always will be. Understand, though, we do things a certain way, we talk a certain way, we operate a certain way, and if you don't know those ways, a lot of this is not going to make sense to you. So go to nononsenseforex.com. It's the very first thing you should do. Read the first page, watch the first video on that page, and then get started. That's your best way to go. For the rest of us, though, let's go ahead and get into the Random Walk Index. The year technically was 1993, which is a bit before the 1996 and on threshold we like to see here at No Nonsense Forex. However, it was translated into MT4 later and then updated even later than that. So it kind of is modern. I don't know. I just put 93 because that's when it was originally done. It's going to be a confirmation indicator, going to be a two lines cross. And I just haven't had enough time with this one to know if it's going to be a good exit indicator or not. As always, especially with two lines crosses, I think there are often opportunities there. So I would say certainly run a test on it and see how it does. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. In its default form, this is probably not something you are going to want to use unless you hate yourself. Very choppy, a lot of noise going on. So what Dan did is he gave you another picture and showed you what it would look like if you just change the link setting to 14. Much easier to read. Looks like it performs a lot better. And this type of two lines cross indicator, so just so you know, if you're brand new, when this green crosses and closes above the magenta, that is your signal to go long. And then when the magenta crosses and closes above the green, or a better way to say it is when the green crosses and closes down below the magenta, that's going to be your signal to go short. I think the first time a lot of you were introduced to this was when I showed you the Arun up and down. It's kind of like that. Not really, but you get the idea. It's not a two lines cross in the way like the stochastic oscillator would be. It's kind of has its own look and feel and setup to it. But that's how it works, and let's go ahead and go test it. Before we do that, no, these tests could have been done at any time. You don't know. How it performs in your system is all that matters, so don't get too excited over great results. Don't get too down over subpar results. Test this yourself. That is literally all that matters. Down below in the description, we have a lot for you. I have a link to my automation blog that shows you how to test this on your own using the MT4 strategy tester. The link to the indicator blog, as always, tweak settings, history, all the good nerdy stuff that you like so much, and a secondary video on Dan's YouTube channel that is an addendum to what you see here. You get to see this thing move in real time. You're going to get some extra information. Definitely something you need to do after you're finished with this video. You get the second email address, too, if you want to submit an indicator for a possible review on the Indicator Profile Series. We've already done a few of those. And then, as always, the link to the indicator library where you can download the Random Walk Index and every indicator we have profiled here on the Indicator Profile Series. So let's go ahead and head over to the results, starting with the EURUSD. Pretty solid here. I do like ROIs in the high 8s on the daily. Like this even better on the 4-hour. But as we've seen in the past, recent past, the 4-hour charts have outperformed the daily. Something you don't often see, but we are seeing it now. Moving over to gold. Not much to write home about in gold. It's kind of been that way for a while. I would say if you start to see things over 20% in gold and Bitcoin, that's probably a really good sign because the markets, even though these things do move, especially Bitcoin, that's just how it's been lately on the series. So just keep that in mind. Over to the S&P, though, which has been very good and continues to be. These are very solid. You're not getting a ton of trades on either one, especially from what they were before. You saw that first example and how many trades it gave you. But getting it down to a reasonable number Does very, very good results. That's your benchmark right there. That's pretty darn close to it. Good win-loss ratios. It's just a lower amount of trades than maybe some people might be comfortable with. I don't know. Really depends on what else you trade. Moving on to Bitcoin, and again, lackluster, but again, that's just how this market has been. I think this total trades is probably a typo because, as you know, the total trades usually ends up pretty high to start with, but the end results are what we're looking at here. So really all depends on what you trade, whether the random walk index is going to be for you or not, but I suggest you test it anyway. And if you promise me you'll do that, we will keep these coming. Subscribe, hit the bell. Indicator Profile Series videos every Wednesday. Trading Psychology Podcast every Monday. Blogs sometimes on Thursday. And the 10-Minute Contrarian Podcast. Investments, gold, silver, crypto, all that good stuff every Saturday. We're here for you all the way through. Go get it.